That was funny. So I basically had to come upstairs because when I was doing the shear, they just started Marv. And I'm not going to interrupt Marv. So now we're holding by Thursday's Tanya. Likutei Moharan, middle of chapter 37. I'm going to say part 3 from when I started. I probably started in the middle too. It's a long parak. Uvizeh yuvan ma shehi ligu Rabbi Seinu zichroinam livracha b'me'oid b'mailas hatzedakah ve'amru sheskula keneged kol hamitzvos. In light of the above, where it was explained that the distinctive quality of the active mitzvos lies in their elevating effect on the body and vitalizing soul, we can understand why our sages so greatly extolled the virtue of tzedakah, declaring it equal to all the other mitzvahs together. You hear that? You hear this? The mitzvah of tzedakah is equal to all of the mitzvahs combined. That's how powerful it is. Uchol Talmud Yerushalmi Hi Nikres B'Shem Mitzvah Sisam Kikach Haya Hergel Halashin Likroi Tzedakah B'Shem Mitzvah Sisam. In all of the Yerushalmi Talmud, charity is called simply the commandment. The commandment. Not just the commandment, it's the commandment. For such was the idiomatic expression commonly used to refer to tzedakah, the commandment. Mipnei shehi ikar hamitzvos masiyos ve'oila al kulana. Because tzedakah is the core of all the mitzvos of action and it surpasses them all. Shekulan hein rak lehalois nefesh hachiyunis laHashem shehi hi hamikaimemes oisan umislabeshes bahen. For the purpose of all these mitzvahs is only to elevate one's animal soul to God, since it is the vital soul that performs them and clothes itself in them. So when one gives tzedakah, he takes all the energy that's within himself, like he had to work all day long in order to earn the money. And then with that energy that he converted into the money, he gave to someone else. It enclosed an entire body in it when he gives the tzedakah. Ve'ein lecha mitzvah shenefesh hachiyunis mislabeshes ba'kol kach kiva mitzvahs hatzedakah. Now you will find no other mitzvah in which the vital soul is clothed to the same extent as in the mitzvah of tzedakah. Shebakol ha-mitzvos ein mislabes bahen rak koyach echad minefesh hachiyunis bishas maseh ha-mitzvah levad. For in all other mitzvahs, only one faculty of the vitalizing soul is clothed. An example, the faculty of action in the hand donning tefillin or holding an esrog. And even this one faculty is clothed in the mitzvah only while the mitzvah is being performed. So when you don the tefillin, you're elevating your arm, your hand, your head, your heart, your brain, but only while you're performing that mitzvah. In the case of tzedakah, however, which one gives from the proceeds of the toil of his hands, harikol koyach nafshoy hachiyunis miluvbash basiyas מלאכתוי, אוי עסק אחר שנסתכר בוי מאויס אלו. Surely all the strength of his vitalizing soul is clothed in an example to the effort of his labor or in any other occupation by which he earned this money, which he now distributes for tzedakah. He uses all of his strength in order to, and labor to occupy himself in order to give the tzedakah. That means you're taking all of your koiches in order to do this mitzvah. Shenoisnan litzedakah hareko nafshoy hachiyunis oilel Hashem. Thus, when he gives to tzedakah, this money to which he applied all the strength of his vitalizing soul, his entire vital soul ascends to God. Hence the superiority of tzedakah over other mitzvahs. That means the entire soul can ascend higher. But this seems to imply that if one does not invest all his strength into earning his livelihood, his tzedakah lacks this quality, to which the Alter Rebbe rejoins. You hear the question? If somebody just had money, but he didn't really toil in that money, and he gives it to someone else, how can you say that it's so special that it elevates the entire body? V'gam mi she'enoi nehege migiyoi miko makoim ho'il uvema ois elu haya yachol liknois chaye nafshoi hachiyoinis hare noisen chaye nafshoi lahashem. Even he who does not earn his livelihood from his labors, nevertheless, since he could have purchased with this money that he gave for charity sustenance for the life of his vitalizing soul, he is actually giving his soul's life to God in the form of tzedakah. Thus, charity, tzedakah, comprises and therefore elevates more energy of the vitalizing soul than any other mitzvah. V'lachein amru rabbeinu zichroinam livrocha shemekar reves es hageula. This is why our sages have said that tzedakah hastens Mashiach to come. It hastens the redemption. The geula, the ultimate utopia, will be hastened much more when people give tzedakah. Lefi shebi tzedakah achas ma'ile harbe minefesh hachiyunis ma'sheloi hayal yachil lehalois mimena kach koichoi uvechinois bechama mitzvois masiyois acherois. For with one act of tzedakah, one elevates a great deal of the vitalizing soul, more of its faculties and powers, in fact, than he might elevate through many other active mitzvahs combined. As mentioned earlier in this chapter, the Messianic era is the result of our efforts in purifying and elevating the vitalizing soul. Charity, which effects the elevation in such great measure, thus hastens the redemption. And the source of all this Tanya is from Bava Basra 9a and Ibid 10a. That concludes today's Tanya.